Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Gulfstream Park here on Saturday. It is the 27th of March 2021. It's Florida Derby Day from Gulfstream, and I'm going to look at all the stakes races, including the Florida Derby. But before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5 for more selections for race courses around the world. And remember to join me today for my Dubai World Cup preview, and also next Saturday for my Wood Memorial preview and my Bluegrass preview. An excellent card from Gulfstream today. We have a ginormous stakes race, aplenty on the card, so let's get to it right now. Races 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, then 10 through 14. Let's get to it right now, starting off with the third race from Gulfstream. The third race from Gulfstream Park, it is the Sanibel Island Stakes. Purse $100,000, races for 3-year-old fillies. We have 8 horses heading to the Gulfstream Park turf course. The distance of ground is 1,600 meters here, or the distance of ground of 1 mile on the Gulfstream Park turf course. 1,600 meters, 1 mile here. And I show the diagram. It just gives me a second to look down my notes, so just bear with me. Portable rails at 60 feet, so it's the middle portion of the turf course. There are 3 rail settings on today's card: 0 feet, 60 feet, and 120 feet. But my top selection here in the Sanibel Island, we're going to go take the number 8 horse who has hit the woe. We'll go 8543 in the superfecta, 8543 super. That's my top 4 basically, but my top selection today, 8 horse, hit the woe. 3-year-old filly by Vancouver. Christophe Clement trains. Tyler Gaffleone gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came 2nd of January here at Gulfstream. 6.5 furlongs in the Glitter Woman Stakes. And the horse finished 4th by 9 1/4 lengths there. And didn't break that well. Never quickened up to her full potential. It just wasn't her day to win. The way she runs, she looks like she wants to run on turf. Coming to turf, routing, off the bench, I think she could really run a good race. 2 back, she tried running on the turf at Aqueduct on the 13th of November, but it was taken off turf. Sloppy Seal going 6 furlongs in main special weight 8,000. She won by 1 1/4 lengths there, and she sat back early, got a good quicking, good turn of foot in the top lane, and she got the job done. Again, don't know if she wants to sprint, but she still got the job done there. Keep in mind, the 2nd and 3rd place finishers, when Nick started out of that race. And then prior to that, in mid-October on the 18th to be exact, at Belmont, 6 furlongs, main special weight 8,000, finished 2nd by 3 1/4 lengths. She didn't break that well, slowly recovered, quickened up a little bit. For all said and done, it was a decent place there. She's been training well at the Clement base at Payson Park. Like I said, coming to turf, 4-1. I'm going to give her a shot. Second likeliest winner is the 5 horse La Liberté. The 3-year-old filly by Constitution. Mark Cassidy trains. Jean Velasquez gets them out. Most recently ran the horse in Optional 75 here at Gulfstream, 5 furlongs on the 25th of February. Where she won by a half a length, and she had a dream trip from a starting position a little bit wide, but when she quickened up, she got the job done, earning a 78 buyer. 2 back here at Gulfstream. First off, a long refreshing and a 5 furlong option 75. She finished 3rd by 1 3/4 lengths. She was with him early on, but then just couldn't quicken up late. I think she needed the race. First out around 2 turns, drawn very well. Another very likely winner at 7-2, so definitely use her in the early pick 5 or 4, whatever you decide to play. But to recap my selection for the third from Gulfstream, it is the Sanibel Island. We're going to take the 8 horse, hit the woes top selection. We'll give kudos to the 5 horse, La Liberté, 8543 in the superfecta, 85 in the multi-race. To race number 4. Race number 4, it is the Sand Springs Stakes, purse $100,000, race for fillies, mares, 4-year-olds and upwards. We have a field of 7 horses going to the starting gate, the distance of ground of 1,700 meters, or the distance of ground of 1 mile and 1/16 on the Gulfstream Park turf course. 1,700 meters, mile 1/16 turf course. Portable rails are out at 120 feet, so it's the outer portion of the 180-foot wide turf course. And the Gulfstream Park turf course might be changing after this meeting. They're going to actually use the lane they're running in today and make it into an all-weather tapetum surface, so you'll have dirt, tapetum, and turf, which I think is going to be a good idea, but good idea to a point. But hopefully the turf course with the inner, 120 feet of ground that they'll have, hopefully you'll have 260-foot wide turf courses. Hopefully it doesn't get as eaten up as as the other 120 feet to 120 feet can get. But I do like the addition of tapetum, and that that's going to possibly be around the corner, and by this time next year, we might have 3 surfaces, so it would be kind of cool. But like I said, hopefully that inner turf course doesn't get as eaten up as it has been the last few years. Still, go back to like 2017, 2018, go watch the replays from Gulfstream Park. That was definitely not turf, it was painted dirt. But my top selection here in the Sand Springs, on the turf, or so-called turf. We're gonna go take the number 3 horse, Sweet By and By. We'll go 3-2-6-5 in the superfecta. 3-2-6-5 super. Top selection of 3 horse, Sweet By and By. 6-year-old mare by Sky Mesa. Safi Joseph Jr. trains. Already Tease Jr. gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came late January here at Gulfstream. 1 mile in the Marshua's River Stakes. Third time's the charm, and the horse finished second by 2 lengths there. The horse was just drawn very wide off the bench, and she could never really get a good turn of foot. When she got towards the front end, the other horses just, weren't quickening up, and then they quickened up when she was weakening out of it. It just wasn't her day to win. Coming here off the bench, second off the bench, I think she's in a more realistic spot to win. 2 back in the Athenia at Belmont on mile 16, 25th of October. She finished seventh by 7.25 lengths there. She was very wide, and she just, again, couldn't keep up there. The winners basically had on the front end done because they went 50 to the half. So, if you don't win up 50 off the half on the front end, there's something wrong with you. And then before that, Noble Damsel at Belmont, 1 mile at the end of September. She finished third by a length. She stalked early on, just couldn't keep up late, but she still ran her heart out. And then before that, in Saratoga, 1 mile, Optional 80. She won by a neck with a step down class from a stalking position. She won very, very nicely. She started here twice at Gulfstream, most recently in the Marshua's River. And then before that, she ran here last January in the Marshua's River, where it was run on mile 16th, and she finished fourth by 3 lengths there. And again, she was just a little bit wide, and she just couldn't get the good turn of foot. But if you look at some of her races as in 2019, those races weren't bad at all, especially towards the end of the season. If she could run those races today, she could definitely win. At 5-2, we'll use her. Second likeliest winner is a 2-horse, Feel Glorious. This 5-year-old mare by Bated Breath. Christophe Clement trains. Junior Alvarado gets announced. 2 back in the Forever Together. The horse went very, very nicely at Aqueduct. But most recently in the Honey Fox, the horse just kind of, just couldn't get there late. But she was a little bit too wide there. She had a better trip. She probably would have won. But, that Forever Together Stakes was very, very nicely run. But she doesn't like running at Belmont. She likes running at Saratoga and not a track called Belmont. The Saratoga and the Perfect Sting over the summer, she won very, very nicely. And I thought she had a decent third before then, the Matchmaker. Coming here to Gulfstream again, we'll give her a shot at 2-1, and also give a shot to the 6-horse Sweet Melania. Most recently, she just couldn't keep up in the QA2 Cup, but with the step down class back to Gulfstream, or coming to Gulfstream for the first time, I think she could really run a good race. 4-1, definitely use her in multis. But to recount my selection for the fourth, it is the Sand Springs. Let's take the 3-horse Sweet By and By. Give kudos to the 2-horse Feels Glorious and the 6-horse Sweet Melania. We'll go 3-2-6-5 in the superfecta, 3-2-6 in the multi race. It's race number 5. The 5th race from Gulfstream Park, it is the Sir Shackleton Stakes, purse $100,000, race for 4-year-olds and upwards. We have a field of 8 horses stepping to the dirt track, the distance of ground of 1,400 meters, or the distance of ground of 7 furlongs on the Gulfstream Park main track. 1,400 meters, 7 furlongs, main track. My top selection, we're going to go take the number 7 horse here at Basin. We'll go 7-3-4-1 in the superfecta, 7-3-4-1 super. Top selection, 7-horse Basin. 4-year-old colt by Liam's Map. Tom Pletcher trains. Jose Ortiz gets the mounts. The horse's most recent outing came 29th of August at Saratoga. 6 furlongs in the mud in the Amsterdam. The horse finished second by 2 lengths there. Nobody was catching Yopan that day, who just ran a terrific race on the front end. This horse was second best, just couldn't keep up with him, but he did earn a 95 career best buyer. Off the bench here, coming to Gulfstream, training very well, not facing Yopan. I like him a lot better here today than I would have in the Amsterdam. 2 back in the Bluegrass at Keelan. I'm on late July the 11th. He finished 10th by 17 3/4 lengths and just wasn't staying the trip. He stalked that day, didn't break that well, and he just couldn't keep up late. It wasn't his day to win against those very tough horses. And then prior to that, in the Arkansas Derby, he placed that day by 6 lengths behind Carlton, but because Carlton, had a failed drug test after the race, he got the first place money. But he just wasn't catching Carlton. He left out of the gate, but he just didn't have enough speed to keep up with him during the main portion of the race. And then before that, he ran the Oaklawn Stakes on the slop at Oaklawn on mile 8. He finished 4th by 5 1/4 lengths there, and he just couldn't keep up on the track. His best races have come around a one-turn sprinting trip. Routing trip, just not to his liking. As a 2-year-old, he's a Grade 1 winner. He won the hopeful at Saratoga on a very sloppy going, winning by 6.5 lengths. He stalked, he got bleed, quickened up nicely, an all-around good race. And then before that, going 6 furlongs at Saratoga in a main special weight, winning by 1 1/4 lengths. Another great run, beating some decent horses home. Just his subpar, if you take out the route races, he's been a very consistent horse sprinting. But like I said, those rat races are just very subpar. Off the bench of 5-2, let's take him here. If there's a horse that might be able to beat Basin, I think could be the 3-horse Chivalry. He has some races under his belt. Most recently, the Pelican, he finished 5th by 6.5 lengths there, and he just really couldn't waking up there. That was a very weird run. Before then, the Fred Hooper, he just wasn't staying the mile. But if he could run the race like he did at Tampa in December, he could win this race nicely. And if he could run his 2-year-old races, or excuse me, 3-year-old campaign races, he could run good runs. I do like how his workout patterns coming to this race are a little bit better than they were going into his most recent races. So at 8-1, we'll give him a shot with the up and up. But Basin is going to be hard to beat on paper. I can understand if you're going to single him to end off this early pick 5. But to recap my selection for the 5th from Gulfstream, it is the Sir Shackleton. Let's take the 7-horse Basin. We'll give kudos to the 3-horse Chivalry. 7-3-4-1 in the superfecta, 7-3 in the multi-race. Let's get to race number 6 from Gulfstream. Race number 6 from Gulfstream. It is the Appleton Stakes, Grade 3, purse $100,000, races for 4-year-olds and upwards. We have a field of 8 horses heading to the starting gate. The distance of ground is 1,600 meters, or the distance of ground of 1 mile on the Gulfstream Park turf course. 1,600 meters, 1 mile, rails at 60 feet, so it's that mid portion of the turf course. The ginormous 180-foot wide turf course. My top selection, I'm going to go with the number 4 horse here, Ever Dangerous. We'll go 4-8-3-2 in the superfecta, 4-8-3-2 super. Top selection of 4 horse, Ever Dangerous. This 4-year-old colt by Kitten's Joy. George Weaver trains. Edgar Zayas gets the mount. By the way, Kitten's Joy did win over this turf course in 2004, the old Gulfstream Park turf course, winning the Palm Beach Stakes very, very impressively. And then going on throughout that season, he just ran these great races, but he did lose that Brews Cup turf to Better Talk Now. And comment below if you thought Better Talk Now should have been DQ'd in that Breeders' Cup turf. I don't think so, but a lot of people thought that was the wrong call, keeping him up. But back to the subject of Ever Dangerous. Most recent outing came 13th of February here at Gulfstream, 1 mile and off 75. First off the long refreshing, he finished second by 3 3/4 lengths and desperately needed that race. He didn't break that well, and he just could never quicken up. The winner's Flying Scotsman just had the jump on him. Second off the bench, back here, I think he really should run a good race. 2 back in that Byron Station Stakes at Keeneland, mile 8th, October the 6th. A race he shouldn't have been 74-1, but since he was on the AE list, he was 74-1. From 14 to 14, he got over well, settled well, quickened up nicely, and got the job done very, very easily. An all-around good race, earning 91 buyer. Like I said, 74-1 only because he's on the AE list. If he was on the regular list of, in the main portion of the field, he probably would have been somewhere around 12-1 at the most, between 8 and 12-1, but he still won very easily there. And then prior to that, at an Optional 80 at Belmont, on mile 16th on the Widener, he won by 1.5 lengths on the front and all throughout, walking the dog nearly 50th to the half. If you don't win off of that half, there's something wrong with you. But he got the job done, winning very easily at 11-1 there. And then prior to that, in the Hall of Fame at Saratoga, mile 8th on the inner, the horse finished 5th by 9 lengths. He didn't break that well, was very wide, and, you need to be towards the front end on Saratoga's inner turf course, and he just was not like that. Coming here to this turf course where the speed can hold up and closures can win, it's a lot fairer for him, and at 7-2, I'm going to take him. Your second likeliest winner here is the 8 horse, who is Seismic Wave. Coming here off the bench, 5-year-old gelding by Tapit, first time gelded. Reporters gelded on 27th of November of 2019. Most recent race came in Knickerbocker at Belmont on a yielding turf course, mile 8th there, and the horse finished 5th by 6.5 lengths there and was very wide and just never quickened up. His most recent races have been close but no cigar. Before that, on the slop at Saratoga, going a mile 8th, he finished 2nd by 6 3/4 lengths. And first off the bench, first race on dirt, it was an okay run, but he's a turf horse. Before that, he just couldn't keep up with the grade 2 horses in the Bernard Baruch, and then he had a decent place in the poker before that, and a decent place before that off the bench in the first defense at Belmont, but he hasn't won since the English Channel in 2019, which came on good ground. But he's been close but no cigar. He does like this turf course. At 3-1, we'll use him in the multis, but I'm a lot more confident on Ever Dangerous before him. But to recap my selection for the Appleton, the 6th race from Gulfstream, let's take the 4 horse Ever Dangerous. We'll give kudos to the 8 horse Seismic Wave. We'll go 4-8-3-2 in the superfecta, 4-8 in the multi-race. Let's get to race number 8 from Gulfstream. Race number 8 from Gulfstream. It is the Ghostzapper Stakes Grade 3 purse $100,000. Races for 4-year-olds and upwards. We have a field of 7 horses going one lap around the Gulfstream Park main track, which is 1,800 meters in circumference, or the distance of ground of a mile and 1/8 here in the Ghostzapper. 1,800 meters, a mile and 1/8. And this race used to be first known as the Crime Fresh Handicap, then it was named the Skipaway Handicap for about 20 years, and now it's named the Ghostzapper Stakes, and this race has also been run at many distances, mile 16th, a mile 3/16 for the longest time, and now back in mile and 1/8. Wish it was mile 3/16 because when it's mile 3/16 I've noticed the fields have been quite large. This year we only have 7 horses, and it's still an okay kind of race. But my top selection, I'm going to take the number 4 horse, Superfecta. We'll go 4-6-2-1 in the Superfecta. 4-6-2-1 Super. Top selection of 4 horse Superfecto. This 4-year-old colt by Constitution. Ralph next trains. Tyler Gaffleone gets the mount. Most recent outing came 27th February at Gulfstream Park, 1 mile in an Ops 6-2 claimer. And the horse finished 4th by 3 lengths there. He was with them early on, a little bit wide, but he could never quicken up. Come back here to a mile and 1/8. It seems like a 2-turn kind of horse. I think he should just run a little bit better. 2 back at Gulfstream on the 6th of January, 1 mile and off 25. He won by 5 3/4 lengths there. And off the bench, he was with them early on, got the lead, quickened up nicely, and won for fun, earning an 87 buyer. That was a very good race off the bench. And then prior to that, on the 30th of October, it was a crap race on the slop at Belmont. Very sloppy conditions. 7 furlongs lounge race, 82,000. First time facing all the horses. He finished 7th by 14.5 lengths. Very wide, and hated the dirt. Hated the dirt kickback. Coming here today, hopefully no sloppy conditions. I think he's in a better spot to win. He's won twice. Once here in January and once here last May, going a mile 16th in main special weight, 38,000, winning by 3 lengths. He was on the front and all throughout, and he got the job done very, very nicely. Definitely an improvement off his race before, where he just had a horrible beginning and horrible trip for that first 2 furlongs. Go watch that debut on the 29th of March, because it was just everything that could go wrong for him went wrong and more. But he's been improving a lot. Around 2 turns again at 5-1. Let's take him. Your second likeliest winner in this one, I think, is the 6 horse War Stopper. I already teach Junior gets the mount for Tom Fletcher. Most recently in the Challenger, the horse just really couldn't keep up on that wacky Tampa surface. But his races locally here at Tampa at Gulfstream have been very, very good, and he trains a lot better on this side of Florida. At 2-1, we'll definitely use in the multis. But to recap my selection for the 8th from Gulfstream, it's the Ghostzapper. Let's take the 4 horse Superfecto. We'll give kudos to the 6 horse War Stopper. We'll go 4-6-2-1 in the Superfecta, 4-6 in the multi race. Let's get to race number 10 now from Gulfstream. The 10th race from Gulfstream Park, it is the Pan American Stakes. It's a Grade 2 event going for a purse of $200,000, race for 4-year-olds and upwards. We have 8 horses going to the Gulfstream Park turf course, the distance of ground here of 2,400 meters, or a mile and 1/2 on the Gulfstream Park turf course. 2,400 meters, a mile and 1/2 turf course, portable rails at 0 feet, so it's the innermost portion of that turf course. My top selection here, we're going to go take the number 7 horse. The number 7 horse is my iPad craps out. It always does it during these big videos. I don't know why. I'm due for a new one. It's also 8 years old. But my top selection, I'm going to take the 7 horse Moon over Miami. We'll go 7-2-1-6 in the Superfecta. 7-2-1-6 Super. Top selection, 7 horse Moon over Miami. 4-year-old colt by Malibu Moon. Belmont trains. Junior Alvarado gets the mounts. The horse's most recent outing came in the McDermott here at Gulfstream. Mile 3/8 at the 27th of February. And the horse finished 3rd by 1 1/4 lengths there. He sat back early. Was very, very wide that day. But for him to close up well first off the bench, I thought that was a decent race. Second off the bench, coming back here, if he could run a race like that, I think he could win. 2 back in the Belmont Derby at Belmont, a mile and a quarter, 3rd of October. He finished 6th by 7 lengths there. He was with him early on, but then just couldn't keep up late. It just wasn't his day. And then before that, in the Dueling Grounds Derby at Kentucky Downs, mile 5/16, September the 10th, the horse won by half length. He was drawn a little bit wide that day, but really with that good 2 furlong stretch, he settled well, he quickened up nicely, and he took good advantage of the long stretch, winning, going away there. And then before that, in the Hall of Fame at Saratoga in July, a mile and 1/8 on the inner. He finished 4th by 2 lengths. That inner turf course at Saratoga plays towards speed, not deep closers, and he just couldn't really get a good turn of foot there. But before that, Churchill, mile and 1/8 in the Lounge race, 82,000. Against older horses, he won by a length and destroyed the older horses, a little bit wide, but, he circled the field late with blinkers on. Since they put the headgear on, he's become a completely different horse, and I think that's been concentrating him. Training well, second off the bench at 5-1, let's use him. You also have to use the 2-horse here, Temple. This 5-year-old gelding by Temple City. Mike Maker trains this one. Ira Ortiz Jr. gets the mount. Most recently in the Mac Derby, this horse kind of, hung a little bit, just could never quicken up to his full potential. Before that, it had a massive place in the night handicap, and then before that, won the place in the Claim and Crown Emerald. I think he's been crying out for the longer trip, getting the mile and a half here. At 7-2, we'll use him. And also, we have to give a shout to the 1-horse Cross Border. I thought he ran a very good place in the Pegasus World Cup, and he's another horse with the longer trip. He goes up a lot more, likes the turf course. 3-1, let's use him. But to recap my selection for the 10th from Gulfstream Park, it's the Pan American Stakes. Let's take the 7-horse Moon Over Miami as the top selection. We'll give kudos to the 2-horse Temple and the 1-horse Cross Border. We'll go 7-2, 1-6 in the superfecta, 7-2-1 in the multi-race. Let's get to race number 11 from Gulfstream. Race number 11, it is the Cutler Bay Stakes, purse $100,000. Race for 3-year-olds here. We have a field of 9 horses heading to the turf course. The distance of ground is 1,600 meters, or the 1-mile trip on the Gulfstream Park turf course. 1,600 meters, 1 mile here. The portable rails are set at 60 feet, so it's that mid portion of the turf course. My top selection, we're going to go take the number 8-horse Step Dancer. We'll go 8-4-6-1 in the superfecta, 8-4-6-1 super. Top selection, 8-horse Step Dancer, 3-year-old colt by War Dancer, Barkley Tag trains, Jose Ortiz gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came Halloween at Belmont, yielding turf course, mile 16th there on the inner turf course in the Orchid Stakes, and the horse won by 3/4 length. He sat back early, slowly moves his way up, and for a horse to close up on very wet turf course like he did from where he was, I thought it was a very good victory, winning by 3/4 length. Come back here, try turf course. I think he really could run a good race. 2 back in the Pilgrim at Belmont, mile 16th on the inner 3rd of October. He finished 3rd by 4 lengths. He was with him early on. He couldn't keep up with Fire at Will late, but he still ran his heart out. And then prior to that, on the 4th of September, on a good melon turf course at Saratoga, in a main special weight 6 2000, he won by 3 3/4 lengths. Sat back early, stupidly wide around the turn, but he had a great turn of foot and went away with it at 25-1. He's been training very well at Palm Meadows. Gets Jose Ortiz, who knows his turf course very well. At 6-1, let's use him. Second likeliest winner here is the 4-horse Lucky Law. This 3-year-old colt by No Name Ever, Patrick Biacone trained. Tyler Gaffalione gets the mount. Most recently, they ran him in the Sam F. Davis over at Tampa, mile 16th on the dirt. He finished 6 by 5 3/4 lengths. He was drawn very wide, and he just did not like the dirt. Come back to turf where he's more proven to run better races. He's just more in a realistic spot to win. 2 back here at Gulfstream, 1 mile in the main special weight 40,000. He won by 1/2 lengths. Sitting mid back that day, he settled well, quickened up nicely, and he got the job done, winning very, very easily from a dream trip. And then prior to that, 5/8 on the turf course in main special weight 40,000 in late December. He finished 2nd by 1/4 lengths. A little bit wide that day. He had a little traffic, but he got place. But he's not a sprinter. He's more of a router. He's going to get a good trip from where he's drawn today. And at 6-1, he's another very likely winner coming back to turf. But to recap my selection for the 11th from Gulfstream, it is the Cutler Bay. Let's take as a top selection 8-horse Step Dancer. We'll give kudos to the 4-horse Lucky Law. We'll go 8-4-6-1 in the superfecta, 8-4 in the multi-race, to race number 12. Race number 12, it is the Gulfstream Park Oaks. It's a grade 2 event going for a purse of $200,000. Race for 3-year-old fillies. We have 7 horses going to the main track. The distance of ground is 1,700 meters, or the distance of ground of 1 mile and 1/16 on the Gulfstream main track. 1,700 meters, a mile 1/16 here in the Gulfstream Park Oaks. My top selection, we're going to go with the number 6 horse, who is Mule Fuel. We'll go 6-2-3-5 in the superfecta, 6-2-3-5 super. Top selection is single in the multi-race 6 horse, Mule Fuel, 3-year-old filly by Curlin. Belmont trains. Tyler Gaffalione gets the mount. The horse's most recent appearance came in the Devona Dale here at Gulfstream Park, 1 mile on the 27th of February, and the horse finished 7th by 21 3/4 lengths, and I bet her that day. She looked early on, just wasn't really comfortable. She didn't have the best trips around the far turn, and she just never quickened up. Around a 2-turn mile 16th. She looks like a 2-turn kind of horse. She's going to break well, hopefully, today and go towards the front end. And I think, she's in a lot realistic spot to win. That Devona Dale had a lot of front end sprinter kind of speed. And I think today this is going to fit towards her being a router, not kind of a long turn, 1-turn sprinter. But 2 back Shrin Demoiselle here at Aqueduct on the solid mile and 8th on the 5th of February. And she finished 2nd by 3/4 lengths. She stalked had a lead for a split portion. She kind of hit the wall late and got caught, but she still ran her heart out there, going a mile and eighth at Aqueduct in very tough conditions. And then prior to that, on the 23rd of October at Belmont, 1 mile in the main special weight, 77,000, winning by 4 lengths. She sat back early. She wanted to go, but Joelle had a little bit of a tough hold on her, but slowly moved her way up. She got the lead and got the job done very nicely. And then prior to that, in early September at Belmont, 1 mile in the main special weight, 63,000. She finished second by 3/4 length. Again, she sat back early, closed up well. It was a good debut. The buyer numbers were really improving until the Devona Dale, where she kind of went backwards, but I just thought the 1 turn mile with that race wasn't to her liking. You don't see a lot of front end speed in this race, and I think she should go to the front end and really run a good race. Also, her workup patterns coming into this run is they're a lot better than going into the Devona Dale. 72 off the break. Let's use her. Let's sail her in the multi-race. So to recap my selection for the 12th from Gulfstream, it is the Gulfstream Park Oaks. Let's take the 6-horse Meal Fuel. We'll go 6, 2, 3, 5 in the superfecta, single 6 in the multi-race. Let's get to the 13th. Race number 13, it is the Orchid Stakes, Grade 3, purse $100,000. Race for fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and upwards. We have a field of 10 horses going to the turf course, the distance of ground of 2,200 meters, or the distance of ground of 1.38 miles on the Gulfstream Park turf course. 2,200 meters, 1.38 miles. Port Royale is at 0 feet, so it's the inner portion of the turf course. My top selection here, we're going to go take the number 5 horse, who is Sorel. We'll go 5-4-9-7 in the superfecta. 5-4-9-7 super. Top selection of 5 horse Sorel. 4-year-old filly by Dancel. Christophe Clement trains. Javier Castellano gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came 29th of October at Langfield in the UK, mile and 5/8 on the polytrack in the River Eden Stakes, and the horse won by 1 3/4 lengths there. Had a good trip, stalked early on, quickened up nicely on the front end, and kept going. It was an all-around good race, cutting back to a 1.38 here today on very firm ground. I think this horse could really run a good race. Most definitely going to stay. Just the question is, how fresh is she off the bench at 5-1? I'm going to prove that she's quite fresh. 2 back in Class 2 handicap at Doncaster, 1.5 miles on the 11th of September. She won by a head that day. I don't know if she liked Doncaster. She kind of was a little lackadaisical early on. Took her a little bit of time to get going with the short stretch there with the long stretch at Doncaster, but she got the job done, winning gamely there. And then before that, in a handicap at Leicester, 1.5 miles on the 10th of August, against some very lesser quality horses with a ginormous weight on her back of 131 pounds. At 25 cents a dollar, she got the lead, and she could have won by more, but they were saving the handicap. It was a good race there. And then prior to that, in early July at Newbury, 1.25 miles soft ground and handicap, she finished second by head. She wasn't liking the soft ground. She got second by default, but that was definitely one of her worst races of the season. And before that, at Goodwood, 1.25 miles and a handicap, finishing third by 2 lengths there, and she just couldn't quicken up. And I do think the trip was just a lot not to her liking. She's kind of a little bit longer mile rates to 1.5 miles, but still wasn't the worst race of the season. I thought the race after that, Newbury, even though she placed there, was a lot worse run than that Goodwood race. But coming to North America for the first time, training well pacing at 5-1, I think she can run a good race, so we'll take her. Your second likely winner is the 4-horse Morning Molly. Tom Proctor trains. Jose Ortiz gets the mount. This is the first time the horse is going longer than 1.1 miles. Most recently in the Hillsborough, the horse nearly won, but got caught late. What can you do? The horse just couldn't keep, couldn't keep the triple eight. Before that, won the Jersey Lilies in Houston very nicely, and then won and placed in a handicap on New Year's Day at Tampa very nicely also. I think the longer trips suit her well. An 8-1 will use her here, and while we're talking, you can't throw out the 9-horse Always Shopping. She ran a terrific race in that La Paviante a few weeks ago, and Olivia Borghese win was very, very easily also. It's 8-5 with the longer trip. Definitely use her in the multis. But to recap my selection for the 13th, it is the Orchid Stakes. Let's take the 5-horse Sorel. Give kudos to the 4-horse Morning Molly and the 9-horse Always Shopping. We'll go 5-4. 5-4-9-7 in the superfecta, 5-4-9 in the multi-race. Let's get to the big 14th race from Gulfstream Park. The featured 14th race from Gulfstream. It is the Florida Derby, Grade 1 event, going for a purse of $750,000. Race for 3-year-olds here. We have 11 of them going to post the distance of ground of 1,800 meters, or 1 lap around the Gulfstream main track, which is 1 mile and 1/8 in circumference. 1,800 meters, 1 mile and 1/8 here in the Florida Derby. My top selection, we're going to go with the number 8 horse here, who is Soup and Sandwich. We'll go 8517 in the superfecta. 8517 super. Top selection 8 horse, Soup and Sandwich. This 3-year-old Colt by Into the Mischief. Mark Hasse trains. John Velazquez gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came the 24th of February at Tampa Bay Downs at mile 40 yards and up 75 claimer, and the horse won by 2 3/4 lengths there. He only had 2 of the rivals. He stalked the leaders that day, got the lead, slowly moved his way up and forward and got the job done. It was a very easy race. Stakes quality horses, Florida Derby for the first time shouldn't be a problem. I think as the distances go longer, he really should get better and better. 2 back in his debut here at Gulfstream in late January, 6.5 furlongs, main special weight 40,000 against State Breds. He destroyed the field, winning by 7.5 lengths. He stalked, got the lead, and then could have went around another 5 times and won that easily. An all-around good race with a lot left in the tank. Coming here, training very well. Most recent workout at Palm Meadows, 4 furlongs, 48. In 2/5 of a second, third best workout 27, and a fast one before that, 4 furlongs and 47 and 3, the best out of 39. I think he's rearing to go, and I think he's sitting on a very good race. From the outside, I'll probably leave out of the gate to get good position into that first turn, and I think from sitting very close to the front end today, I think he'll go a long way. At 20-1, he's a very likely winner. Your second likeliest winner is the 5-horse Known Agenda. They had to give him a confidence builder most recently here at Gulfstream in late February. Mile Nathan up 75, he won by 11 that day. Previous races were okay, but he just wasn't winning. But that day in here at Gulfstream most recently, he stalked, he slowly moved his way up, and the race was over at the top of the lane, kind of brushed the second place finisher, but it wasn't anything so bad. But when he quickened up, he got the job done very easily with Lasix also that day. No Lasix today with it being a stakes race, but he's the kind of horse, as the distances get really long, he should do well. Kind of horse right now, if there's a future wager for the Belmont Stakes, you bet everything on him, because I think the mile and a half is really up his alley. But 2 back in the Sam F. Davis, he finished 5th by 4.5 lengths, and he was very lackadaisical that day. He just kind of stalked and never quickened up and never weakened out of it. He just needs something extra there. Maybe he just didn't handle the dirt at Tampa. It's a little bit of a weird surface there. And then before that, here in New York in the Remsen, a mile and 1/8, he finished 3rd by 9 lengths there, and he didn't break that well. And I just don't think he liked the slop that particular afternoon. And then before that, a mile and 1/8 at Aqueduct in November in a main special weight, winning by a head. He, again, a very lackadaisical kind of horse, he seems. He was a little bit wide around the turns. He had to be used a lot, but he got the job done, being some decent horses home there for being a main special weight at Aqueduct in November. But it was a good run. He's been improving with every single race. At 5-1, we'll give him a shot. Your wise guy horse also on paper is the 1-horse Nova Rags, 3-year-old Colt by Union Rags. Belmont trains. Juno Alvarado gets him out. This horse ran a massive place most recently in the Sam F. Davis. And before that in the Pasco, the horse won very, very nicely. He's going to go up a massive class, but his buyer numbers off his last run can win this year. And he's been improving. And, at 12-1 from a good poster, we'll give him a shot. And while we're here talking, the 7-horse Greatest Honor, he's going to have to do a lot to close up. This race tends, mile and 1/8 at Gulfstream Park tends to be more towards front runners. Deep closers have a tough time closing, going 2 turns here at Gulfstream Park on the dirt. So, especially the win going a mile 16th, but a mile and 1/8, it's very hard for some reason to win going from where he's coming from. 6-5, he's a horse, I think you could go other ways. But, and I thought he kind of lost a step a little bit in the Fountain of Youth. His Hollow Bow was a lot better, though. We won't use him here. But to recap my selection now for the 14th from Gulfstream Park, it is the Grade 1 $750,000 Florida Derby. Let's take as a top selection 8-horse Soup and Sandwich. We'll give kudos to the 5-horse Known Agenda, and the 1-horse Nova Rags. 8-5-1-7 in the superfecta. 8-5-1 to end off the multi-race wagers. So good luck to all. Remember to join me next Saturday for my Wood Memorial preview and my Bluegrass preview. Good luck, everybody, and follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5.